Okay, let's talk about 2142 because everyone at the moment is begging the question, is this game worth picking up? For those who don't want to hear about the details of the game from the beta, then my answer is yes, but with a but, and that's if you have a toaster of the rig, the current implementation of the game isn't going to be that friendly to you. I have an i9 with a 2080 GT and I have to run everything on low at the moment. Anyway, so for everyone else, here's all the game experiences so far from the beta that I have found out. Anyway, starting at the beginning, in terms of how it looks now and what they've done with it, they've put a much more modern aesthetic to it. It kind of feels like the first implementation of Call of Duty's Black Ops 4 Battle Royale, mixed in with Battlefield 4. So the worlds look absolutely gorgeous, everything is very visually stunning, the grass, the land, the big rockets in the background, it all looks great. The gun models also look really good, they're sharp, they're smooth, and they've got a nice feel to them. Additionally, the sound is really clear. More importantly, the footsteps are really easy to distinguish with all the noise and fluster going on in the background. This has been a complaint in the past that you haven't been able to really hear what's coming up to you. And in terms of visibility, I'm hearing two camps. Now, people who haven't played a Battlefield before coming into it are saying that the visibility is quite difficult to pick out. However, if you're coming from Battlefield 5 and going into this, then everything is 10 times clearer in terms of visibility. I have been playing Battlefield 5 pretty hardcore for the last 2 weeks, and I've got to say the difference is like night and day. Now, as far as I can tell, it feels like the movement of the characters has been sped up quite considerably. Additionally, the slide, which was in Battlefield 5, where you could use it about every 6 seconds or once you've reached a certain momentum, you can now spam it continually. Whether or not it stays like this, I'm not so sure, because at the moment you can almost do like a hop to a slide kind of movement, and I know they've nerfed these things in the past like this, but I've got to say, just being able to slide and duck around the corners of things, it feels really, really good. In terms of maps, the only one we've got so far is Orbital. Now, I absolutely love the maps. They are huge, they are big, and they really fit the scale of the 128 players. That being said though, they do feel very open world. And what I mean by that is that when you start the map, for example, there's a good period of time before you actually get anywhere and fight the enemies. There is considerable travel distance between each of the capture zones. So if you are in one area, unless you have some form of transportation, you are locked into that zone to fighting there unless you die and you transport to the other area. There's no, oh, I'm on A and E is being captured, I'll just quickly hop over there, because it is a trek and a half. I have, however, not had any instances where I'm just marching across large amounts of land space and not fighting any enemies. And I know a few people have been worried about that, and even some people reported that was the case, but so far in the beta, not at all, and it's just been a constant firefight throughout. So in terms of class systems, they have kind of thrown it all out of the window. They've no longer gone with this design that certain classes only get access to certain weapons, because it means that I can now play with the weapon that I enjoy and also select an ability that kind of suits my general playstyle. So in the beta you get access to 4 specialists. You've got Mckay, who's the assault, you've got Falco, who's the medic, you've got Boris, who's kind of an engineer, and then you've got Casper, who is your recon. So going through all of them and just my general experiences with them, starting off with Mckay, I absolutely love playing him. He's got a grappling hook which you can do some really funky mobility stuff. Seen lots of John Wick flying around and shooting people with style shots. It also adds a really nice mobility factor because you can escape and you can also traverse up cliffs to get to higher grounds. And he is just an all-round thumbs up from me. Now, Falco, the medic specialist, I started off playing Falco and I do enjoy playing her. However, I don't feel like I'm really coupled to playing the medic class now if I need healing. All of the specialists can take a gadget which can be a health box, and you can just put it down and then use that to recharge your HP. However, if you are in the mindset of wanting to be able to do long range healing with a healing gun, or you want to be able to resurrect people, then she is a great pickup. And I gotta say, I did enjoy playing her when I was with a group team. However, when I was just running around solo, I much preferred to play the other specialists. Boris the Engineer is probably my least played class. I really didn't gel well with the turret. I think it just comes down to with my own personal playstyle. The turret at the moment is very, very strong, and some people were saying it's borderline OP. I just didn't really find it all that fun, and I found myself being very static, and the way that the maps are designed, you're just running from one point to the next constantly. And last is Casper, the recon class. Now, I really enjoyed playing Casper because he's got a drone that you can go up into the air and you can fly around and you can scout out enemies, and because of the scale of the maps, it allows you to play safely and, like, you know, find out where everyone is and then move into it. You can also position your drone over certain locations and then go back to Casper if you want to go to and fro just to keep an idea who might be flanking you. And when I was sniping, or I just wasn't sure about areas that I had never been to, I just found it a really cool little tool. Now, whether or not it's because I'm new to the game, and when I find out more about the maps then I probably won't want to play them as much, I'm not so sure. Additionally, there are also grenades which you can use as motion detectors, and they had the same sort of effect as the drone, just not with its own little camera. So maybe later on down the line when you're more experienced you won't play the recon class as much, but I did find him enjoyable, and also the fact that the skin looks really cool on him. So I'm not going to go through the weapons in this video, we'll do that in another one, but I do want to mention the new add-on system that they've implemented. Now, I do really like it because it means that I'm using the add-ons a lot more now, and you can fine-tune things and you can give it ammo that's better against vehicles, etc. My only issue is that the add-ons at the moment aren't really that useful in different situations. You really end up with a min-maxing situation, so you just choose the best ones for the gun. So less recoil, more ammo, and making sure that it is held steady when you hold still. My only time that I really switched my add-ons when I was changing scopes on the sniper rifle, and that was because I just couldn't make my mind up. Other than that, there was no real reason for me to switch the add-ons on. They didn't change the playstyle of the weapon, they didn't make it fun in a different way, they simply just made them weaker. And therefore I never really had a rationale to change them. Even adding things like the flashlight, I didn't really know when I would use it or why. And when it came to scopes, the only real difference with them was the fact that they made it more difficult for you to fire your weapon. So the system is good, I just think they need to look at the add-ons that they're putting on these weapons. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm also going to talk about the vehicles in another video. So I'm going to be going back to the beta. I hope you're having a great time with it too. It's lots and lots of fun at the moment. And I'll be back with more videos on 2142 relatively soon, so stay tuned and don't forget to sub and all those good things.